What is going on? We are in our Airbnb. We're traveling for one of our masterminds groups, and I wanted to give you guys some tips on how to stay on track while you are traveling and how to stay on track with your nutrition. So I get this question a whole lot from all my clients, and we are gonna go over it with you. All right, so here we are, we're at an Airbnb. Usually what happens is you are at some event or something like that. What Rob and I do is, number one, we find an Airbnb with a kitchen. So we have a kitchen here. It's not huge, but there's a microwave there. There's a fridge behind me. We also have a stove and some pots and pans and things like that. So I'm just gonna give you a tour of what we ended up doing. So for the first half of the day, what Rob and I did was we fasted. So we practiced intermittent fasting. So our flight was early in the morning, and we arrived all the way to about 2 o'clock, and it took about an hour to get to where we are now. So we planned our Airbnb with a full kitchen, and on the way here, we ordered Instacart. So we had everything in the cart ready to go, and we had our address punched in. And so as soon as we got off the plane and went to a rental car, we just went ahead and got everything that we wanted to get. So once we got our groceries delivered, we started heading here, and by the time we got here, our groceries were here. And we actually fasted for Rob fasted for how long, Rob? He fasted for almost 12 hours. He was up since 3, and he didn't have his first meal till about 4:30. Or he still hasn't yet, right? So he's been up since 3. For me, I'm not that extreme. I'll fast. I fasted, I woke up at 5, and my window was about 8 hours. So I brought snacks onto the plane with me, which I showed earlier in a video to make sure that I fasted. But I don't like to fast for that long. I brought snacks to break the fast because I didn't want to be hangry. It's also my birthday, so I wanted to be super happy. But Rob, he hasn't even had his first meal yet. Okay, so I'm gonna give you guys a tour on what we ended up getting at the grocery store. Okay, so when we got groceries, we kept it pretty simple, a lot of produce. We got yogurt, which zero fat-free yogurt. We also got fat-free cream cottage cheese because we like to make pancakes every night, and that's good for smoothies, but Rob likes to make goop out of that. Immediately when we got here, we made our famous pancakes, which is basically just oatmeal, blueberries, egg whites, and fat-free cottage cheese. We got bags of broccoli, some blueberries. This is my favorite. I love this Laughing Cow. I usually like to put this with cauliflower rice. We got some single-serving guacamole. My favorite is Zevia right now, so I got a bunch of root beer Zevia and bags of romaine. I'm a romaine fan. So basically for dinner, I just grabbed one of these babies, and then I cut up some tomatoes, and then I got some of this frozen chicken, and I literally made a meal that was less than like 500 calories in less than a few minutes. Rob, he's a spinach fan, so for Rob, he's making a big spinach salad right now. And so what else? All right, so cashew milk, that's for Rob's goop right there. And then some zucchini and summer squash. And these were the snacks from earlier. I had mandarins with me. And here's our egg whites here. So for condiments, this is my favorite, okay? So I got this from the grocery store, liquid aminos, and I made a salad dressing out of liquid aminos. I put in some, actually it was sriracha, but these two are really good if you guys like spicy stuff. These are both 0 calories. This has garlic in it. This one is just sriracha. And then mustard. Mustard's definitely a must. So the entire time while you're traveling, go ahead and hyperhydrate. So we were on a plane, and we were on the inside seat, so we don't like peeing a whole lot. So that was actually kind of hard to hyperhydrate. So I kept it going, though. I didn't really care who I bothered going to the restroom. Okay, so any other tips? Oh, let me see. We also have make sure like you know what's at the Airbnb, like if they have a coffee maker. Usually I always check to make sure that they have like something, like know what's there, so that way you prepare, okay? So usually we always have to have a coffee maker. We always see Rob's measuring out his chicken right here. And then we always bring a travel scale. If you guys want a link to the travel scale, go ahead and send me a private message, and I'll send you a link to this travel scale. It's really cool. It's like a Chinese star. You could fold it up. We actually had 2, So Rob had one and I had one, and then because we don't like to share, we both measure out our food. And one broke, so now we only have one, so we have to share. And then we always have this, we have sweetener. So this is like erythritol, which is like erythritol, which is like zero-free sweeteners like stevia. We always put this. I put this in my salad. I'm also making tea as well. So there's tea right there. I always make tea. Always staying hydrated. So if you guys have any questions or you guys have any tips that you guys want to share that helps you keep you on track while you're traveling, then please put it in the comments and share for everybody else, because I know this is a topic that for my clients, a lot of times they go out of client town and they come back, their weight jumps and they feel upset. It takes about 2-3 weeks to get the weight off or whatever. But as long as you're tracking and you're planning ahead, you got to ask yourself this question, like, sure, Rob and I, we love to measure things out and we want to make sure we're really in control of what goes on in our body. That's the lifestyle we like, we love it. However, you gotta ask, what is it for you that fits for your lifestyle? So let's say you did go to a restaurant or stuff like that. Understand that accuracy equals better results. So if you have a fitness goal or a weight loss goal or fat loss goal that you want to get to, and you want to get there super fast, the more accurate you are with your measurements and the more control you are of your environment, the faster you're going to get there. Meaning you're measuring your food, you know exactly, what Airbnb to go to, and pre-planning at the grocery store, just like we did. Pre-planning is key. If you're down with getting the best results and willing to go out of your way to do that, then you will get the best results, because accuracy equals results, all right? Because if you go to a restaurant, you don't know whether or not they're pouring oil for like 3 seconds or 5 seconds, which could be a difference of like 1,000 calories or so. Or like if your friend brought food or whatever, you eat that. You can totally measure and get awesome results that way too. But the more accurate you are, the better results you're gonna get. So Rob and I really like to be in control of what goes on into our body. But that's just us, so you see what I'm saying? So a lot of times if you do want to go to a restaurant and you want to measure or you want to track that way, that's totally fine. That's up to you. You just have to understand, like, what are you willing, like if that makes you feel good and provides you results for the long run and helps you out and it helps you with your mental health and mental space and helps you with your enjoyment, and that's okay to you to maybe not be so accurate and therefore maybe, understand that your results could be slowed because it's not as accurate, then that's totally okay for you, okay? So that you have to ask yourself, like, because one of my clients said today, I went to a family get together and I felt really uncomfortable because everything that I tracked, it wasn't very accurate. And I when I ate an orange, I didn't know was this like 100 grams of an orange or was it 150? I have no idea. So like if you want to be accurate, that's up to you. Like Rob and I go out of our way to plan ahead, and it's not that hard because we've practiced for a long time, but you have to ask yourself, like, what fits your lifestyle? So for example, the client that said, what is an orange? Okay, you could totally just track an orange and eyeball it. And if that makes you feel really good, you can still really get awesome results from there. I don't know if that answers the question. Do you have any perspective of what I just said?
Yeah, I mean,
Rob?
like, just by having just a medium-sized orange, if you overestimate, let's say it's a smaller orange and you just plug in a medium-sized one, then you're going to be most likely accounting for more calories than you're actually taking in. So that will allow you to use the guess method and still know you're below your calorie target. So that's an easy way to do it if you're going out. Same thing with the restaurant. If you pick an item that is the highest calorie version of the item you're getting, then most likely you're going to be accounting somewhat accurately or overestimating the calories, so you're not going over your numbers, if that makes sense.
So I hope this helps, guys. If you guys have any questions about traveling, staying on track or whatever, and if you guys also have tips of your own, feel free to drop in the comments. Also, if you want that link to that travel scale, send me a DM and I'm down to help, all right? So we're gonna be traveling this week. Our goal is to stay on track and to practice what we preach to our clients about staying on plan while traveling. So if you guys wanna follow us the next 5 days, then definitely you're welcome to do so. I'll be sharing a lot of videos. You guys have a really, really awesome day. Happy Tuesday.